Good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you for taking time out today and joining us on this online symposium, which is for fortified rice kernel, strengthening the manufacturing ecosystem of the FRK of our country. And as part of IHRF, that is the Innovation Hub for Rice Fortification, FICSI being a very vital member of this consortium. We've been doing a lot of work, since the time of inception of this consortium, that is from February 2023. And we are taking this opportunity, to guide you through and also intimate you about the work and the work that we have done so far. So without wasting any further time, I would now like to request our CEO of FICSI, Shri Sunil Kumar Marwah, to set the opening remarks for this session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Pritha, and good afternoon to everyone. Namaskar. Uh, First of all, my sincere apologies for having convened this symposium on a holiday. To confess, we were not even aware that today is Eid holiday. Had we known, we would have probably put it on some other day. Actually, this symposium was called on the 16th today because we wanted to mark the birthday of our Honorable Prime Minister, because he is the one who showed us the path. He's the one who talked about fortifying rice and gave the directive that the PDS must carry fortified rice. So tomorrow is his birthday. So we thought that we should revisit it and see where we stand, what we have done, what we can do further to improve the ecosystem. As Pritha rightly said, FICSI has tried to make an impact and making an impact through upskilling of the manufacturers, as well as people who are involved in the various activities related to fortification of rice. We have taken the knowledge which is available with other IHRF producers, including IIT Kharagpur, NIFTEM, CFTRI, and we have tried to put it in a manner that is easily understood and imbibed by the fortified, the kernel manufacturers. In fact, Pritha and the team would give you far more bigger details, but I can tell you that the starting point was the skill gap where manufacturers are not able to perform. And some of these matters which are relating to the quality of inputs, the method of testing, all that, that over a period of time has got rationalized. Because when we started doing this project, all these things were work in progress, but a lot of regulation came from FICSI, and as a result, things started taking shape. Now, today, when we stand, we still feel that there is a lot more to be done. And how we can do that is something which we would like to, get inputs from our esteemed members from the IHRF who can guide us on what are the other directions we should be going to. But what project is going on right now is that we are doing industry visits to 100 FRK manufacturers. So our trainers who have been trained at IIT Kharagpur, certified by them, they are going and they are imparting 2-day training and also developing a quality improvement plan from them. Whether it is related to testing or it is related to maintenance or it is even related to the layout and the way upkeep. So for each, after every visit, after every training, there is a mutually agreed quality improvement plan. So we are hoping that the quality improvement plan will be implemented in letter and spirit. Being a training organization, we obviously cannot enforce it. We can only give, emotional or psychological pressure that it is very important for them to improve their quality. They have to sustain themselves. So that is a project which is going on. 28 units have been visited and there is a lot more to be done, which we are hoping that we'll finish in the next 2 months. And we will issue a report out as to what are the key areas that the units are suffering from and what are the quality improvement points that has been agreed. So this is something which I believe would make an impact because, as a training organization, we believe that we have to disseminate knowledge. and we have to continue to disseminate knowledge, and we hope that people will conform. We are not FSSAI, we cannot enforce it. So this is one part of it. Secondly, we want to strengthen our online support system for these manufacturers who do find problem in terms of understanding the FSSAI regulations and the various testing protocols which are released off and on. Kaise karna hai? That is the question, because they do not have that kind of trained workforce who can analyze, and so they either they ignore or they go to the wrong people. So, since we would be wanting to support them, we would like to do some online supports so that the problems they have, we should be able to find a solution after consultation with the other IHRF members. So this is what we are very happy to be part of this transformation of the food industry, and we feel that there's lots more to be done. And I would like to thank IHRF, I'd like to thank IIT Delhi and the donors for having reposed confidence in FICSI, and we hope that we can rise up to the occasion and fulfill the commitments that we have made to our Honorable Prime Minister. Unfortunately, I also have a flight to catch today, so my opening remarks have to be a little short, and I would leave the platform now to Pritha, Ankur, Puneet, and other colleagues of mine. And my apologies that I will not be able to stay through this entire presentation, but I'm always there. And if there is something which I can do, I'll be very happy to do that. So thank you very much once again for joining in, and apologies for coming on a holiday, calling you on a holiday. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. You've been a guiding force, for all of us here at FICSI, and, pushing us to do our best and contribute in the best way that we can, to drive PM's mission of supplying fortified rice, to the nation. Thank you so much, sir. And now moving ahead, in the agenda, we have next now a presentation which will be given by my colleague, Mr. Ankur Chauhan. He's the senior manager looking at the standards division, and his role has been instrumental again, with his entire team for creating, the content, that is being used currently by us for doing the training and capacity building of the FRK manufacturers. So over to you now, Ankur. Please,
Thank you,
you
ma'am.
can share your presentation.
So first of all, I would like to welcome you all to the symposium on strengthening the FRK manufacturing ecosystem. And it's my pleasure to take you through today's presentation, where we will discuss major activities that FICSI has done under this initiative. So it is a privilege to convey this vital discussion aimed at strengthening the FRK manufacturing ecosystem. As we come together, our shared goal is very clear: to uplift the quality of FRK manufacturers through training and capacity building of FRK manufacturers. So as you all know about FICSI, so I'll not take much time on this slide. FICSI is Sector Skill Council for Food Processing Industry, and we are not-for-profit organization. Our objectives are well defined. We conduct extensive skill-based research across various subsectors of food processing. We implement social impact projects by delivering trainings, capacity building program to uplift the workforce in the industry. In the social impact programs, are done on basically livelihood generation, entrepreneurship enhancement, and food safety and hygiene. We also ensure the quality of these programs remain high through rigorous assessments and certification processes that enabling a skilled and competent workforce to drive the specific food processing sector forward. So we also conduct training of trainers and training of assessors to sustain the robustness of the skill ecosystem across food processing subsectors. So coming to the agenda of today, as you may already know, IHRF has been established to provide comprehensive training support to FRK manufacturers across India. IHRF is a collaborative effort formed through a consortium of prestigious organizations including FICSI, IIT Delhi, IIT Kharagpur, NIFTEM Kundali, and CFTRI. Our primary goal at IHRF is to equip individual involved in the FRK manufacturing with the essential skill needed to excel in the production of both FR and FRK. Through this initiative, we aim to strengthen the workforce and enhance the overall quality of fortified rice in the country. So, under the IHRF consortium, FICSI has been assigned several key roles and responsibility to support this initiative. Development of training standards and curriculum with the national credit framework through NCVT to conduct knowledge dissemination seminars, events, webinars, awareness programs to educate and inform people from the same sectors, conduct a thorough analysis of skill and capacity building needs within the rice fortification sector to identify gaps and opportunities, development of a comprehensive training system for rice fortification industry, ensuring that manufacturers receive the necessary skills and support. And the last objective was to support the HRF members in the development of training modules. So coming to the first objective of this initiative, as a part of first initiative, FICSI has developed a qualification file, especially for the training and capacity building of FRK manufacturers, which has been approved by NCVT. To further support these training program, FICSI has also created a variety of learning resources, which includes participant handbooks, facilitator guides, or trainer guides, or a dedicated e-learning module on rice fortification, which gives a brief introduction to the process of rice fortification and the type of fortifications we are doing in rice. So all these resources are freely available on the FICSI LMS portal, and which can be accessible through FICSI's official website also. So these are the few images of these developed resources which are available on the LMS portal. We have also organized three webinars at college level, focusing on rice fortification, its significance and its nutritional benefits. These sessions were also attended by more than 800 students from food processing and food technology background. To the objective of these webinars were to raise the awareness and build knowledge on rice fortification in the upcoming generation of industry professionals. These are the few snapshots. Then we also conducted three offline seminars in three big university located at NCR, which was also attended by more than 600 students from the university campus. One technical workshop was also organized at Lucknow for Uttar Pradesh FRKs, which was graced by the presence of DGM FCI, Shri Anurag Jain, and 28 FRKs manufacturers have participated in this event. Here are the few glimpses of that workshop, which was conducted in Lucknow. FICSI also coordinated a one-day hands-on training session where students from major universities were sent to NIFTEM for practical experience in rice fortification. Trained faculties from NIFTEM have provided in-depth awareness on the processes and the importance of fortified rice in the daily diet. So over 50 students participated in this training session and provided hands-on experience in the campus. They gained valuable experience, knowledge, and skills in rice fortification sector. So under the objective of creating a training system for the rice fortification industry in India, FICSI has achieved the following outcomes. We have conducted a train the trainer program at IIT Kharagpur, conducted FOSTEC and Fortress one-day training program for Punjab and Haryana manufacturers. On-site training of FRK manufacturers has also been started, in which 24 trainings out of 100 we have completed 24 FRK's trainings. And FICSI also started its resource center for rice fortification for FRK manufacturers to submit their queries and issues and get it resolved through experts. The resource center is also having all the information regarding the project with content and e-learning resources. So under TOT program, the objective of TOT is very simple. It is to equip trainers through hands-on training aimed at addressing skills gaps in fortified rice kernel. So we have selected 18 such experienced industry professionals, send them to IIT Kharagpur with background ranging from 8 to 10 years of experience in food processing. So these experts were trained under the guidance of Professor H.N. Mishra, sir, and these experts are now visiting FRK's units on behalf of FICSI to train their staffs and enhance the quality of fortified rice kernels by solving and providing solutions to the issues they have at their premises. Then these trainers are also certified through Skill India digital platform, and they are provided with all the necessary content and the learning resources which are required to deliver 2 days on-site training on FRK manufacturers. One day training program on FOSTEC and Fortress were also held in Punjab and Haryana for FRK manufacturers only. In this program, 64 FRKs manufacturers participated, and 122 attendees we have 122 attendees have registered physically in these events. These trainings were conducted at 6 different locations across Punjab and Haryana, which includes Patiala, Ludhiana, Chandigarh, Kurukshetra, Sonipat, and Bathinda. FICSI has also mandated to deliver the training at 100 FRK manufacturers units and enhance the overall quality of FRK. Therefore, FICSI has initiated a 2-day on-site training program for FRK manufacturers across India. Till date, 24 FRK manufacturers have received physical training at their sites through our trained TOT trained trainers. These trainers are visiting these locations and analyzing processes on sites and deliver customized trainings to the employees at each facility. The on-site training programs which these trainers are delivering is already vetted by IIT Kharagpur, NIT Rourkela, LT Foods, and till now 170 participants have been trained in at 24 FRK manufacturing locations. The training module of this FRK training covers basically these these components mentioned on the screen. It covers the rice fortification technology, FSSAI BIS regulation for rice fortification. Then it also cover FSMS, quality assurance and quality control for fortified rice kernel, GMP protocols, blending operations and machineries, troubleshooting and maintenance. So all of these component is our TOT trainers are trained on these major focused areas, and they are delivering these trainings on site at FRK locations. Then FICSI also created a rice fortification resource center to address the issue and challenges of FRK manufacturers. The FRK manufacturers can directly access the resource center and download the learning resources and submit their queries in the following categories. That include sourcing of equipment, premix selection, then food safety, quality assurance, training needs, and lab testing. So FRK manufacturer can submit their queries on the portal and receive a resolution within a week if they have any queries in this or challenge in under these categories. And at last, NIT Rourkela has also conducted a skill gap study in rice fortification sector and identified some technical skill gaps in FRK manufacturers. So we have invited Dr. Madhuresh Dwivedi from NIT Rourkela under his guidance, under his and Dr. Chandrakant is also there in the meeting. So Dr. Dalbhagat and Dr. Madhuresh have conducted these skill gap study in rice fortification sector. So I request Pritha to invite Dr. Madhuresh after this presentation to present the skill gap study in this meeting. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Ankur, for giving this exhaustive overview of the work that FICSI has done in the last year and a half as part of the IHRF. So before we move to the skill gap study presentation by Dr. Madhuresh, I'll just take a quick few minutes, a couple of minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. So what we have done is we have created a small video that gives a snapshot of all the work that we have done in the last year and a half, and also it puts into perspective certain achievements, if I may add, because we all understand working in this particular ecosystem is not easy, and it takes mighty effort and collaboration with each and every member who is a part of IHRF to make things worthwhile. For example, as you just saw in Ankur's presentation, that we conducted a TOT. We were able to organize that TOT, only with the help of IIT Kharagpur. Had they not been, a part of this consortium, it would have been a little tricky, because, when it comes to the FRK manufacturing, there is still a huge knowledge gap in terms of, providing the best quality rice, and also the use of technology and how the blending and, the choice of equipment is important. And at the same time, methods or, the quick test, that we can use to identify the optimum quality of the premixes that are used. So what I mean to say is, efforts from all of the members of this consortium, be it IIT Kharagpur, be it the support of IIT Delhi in driving us and, charting out the path, that we are supposed to take. CFTRI, they are also doing wonderful work, in terms of detecting, certain, what do you say, components of the final product, and also they are doing good training of the laboratory personnel. So all of us, we have our own set of strengths that we bring to the table as part of this consortium, and we'll be discussing more once we move towards the panel discussion, which is at the later stage of this session today. So I would now request Ankur, I think if you can please share the video that we have prepared, for our work done till date. What are you, Ankur?
मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, गरीब महिलाओं, गरीब बच्चों में कुपोषण और जरूरी पौष्टिक पदार्थों की कमी उनके विकास में बड़ी बाधा बनती है। इसे देखते हुए ये तय किया गया है कि सरकार अपनी अलग अलग योजनाओं के तहत जो चावल गरीबों को देती है उसे फोर्टिफाई करेगी, गरीबों को पोषण युक्त चावल देगी।
Thanks, Ankur, for sharing this video. This just puts into perspective, some of the work that we are doing and what we foresee to do, in the coming couple of years. So now moving ahead, we'll just dive into the findings of the skill gap study report. So just to give you a context, as part of the IHRF, member, FICSI was entrusted with this responsibility to conduct a landscape analysis or a skill gap study, to identify the skill gap in the FRK manufacturing ecosystem of our country. So, this particular task was given to NIT Rourkela. So now they have come up with their, study report, and we are taking this opportunity to officially, launch the report and also discuss on the various findings, that they have. What is it? Discuss on the various findings, of this particular report. So, Dr. Madhuresh.
Yes, madam.
Yes.
Madam.
Can you welcome to
Yeah,
this session? Over to you
thank you.
now. We all are very
Uh,
excited. I mean, for me personally, this is one of the most, one of the biggest USP for today's symposium. I've been, literally waiting to see the skill gap study, that has taken shape. Over to you now.
So first and foremost, I would like to thank FICSI, Sunil, Marwah sir, and Pritha ma'am and Ankur sir for giving us the opportunity as an NIT Rourkela to conduct this study. I would like to thank Professor H.N. Mishra sir, who has been instrumental in doing these things, and all the IHRF members, those who are just now I have heard the things from Ankur sir, and it is really great work they are doing. So today what we are going to present is the study to access the skill gaps in the rice fortification sector. So basically, as everybody is knowing that NFHS findings have just instructed us that what is actually the problem, that 35% of stunning in children, underweight children's high child mortality rates, and these things initiated or this instigated the researchers of the country to do the research. In that initiative, the government has initiated the FRK program that address the micronutrient deficiency and improve the nutritional status. Because it is a staple food, the majority of the countrymen eat this staple food as rice. So the IIT Kharagpur has started this particular fortification program, and they have done the research and they have produced this fortified rice kernel. So what actually we wanted to do in this particular research is the bridging the gap, that is the ensuring how we are going to ensure the skilled workforce for effective rice fortification. In that particular thing, first we have to identify the malnourishment or the malnutrition challenge which is happening.
So what we are planning is bridging the gap. So as IHRF and the FICSI norms, what they wanted is that to let them or let the IHRF or all the scientists to know that where all the actually technology lacks, so that we can just provide those things, and it can be just the skill can be developed in the persons. As the initiative of the government, they have just told us, or they have just instructed that there should be a skilled workforce should be there. So to recognize that importance, the skilled workforce is required. That is why we conducted this particular skill gap assessment. In that, how we are going to implement the training program and training and development program. Also, we wanted to just ensure that how this enhancement and the production distribution, in fact, with the marketing also, how we are going to do that thing, whether we can meet the increasing demand of the fortified rice, and also how we can improve the public health or the public health outcomes. Next, ma'am. So in that terms only, what we have figured out that why not to just conduct the or identify the analyze the research gap. So what we thought that why not to go for production, distribution, marketing. These are the analysis gaps which we thought of first by the help of qualitative and quantitative analysis. So what we thought, training programs, public health outcomes, and quality, safety, and efficiency will be evaluating impact. So based on production, distribution, and marketing skill gaps, we will be now targeting that, we will be focusing that this is our objective of the study, and we will find out that whether there is any skill gaps are actually existing in the FRK manufacturers. Next, ma'am. So with that, we formulated our research methodology. In that research types, we have selected two types, that is qualitative and quantitative, because we developed a questionnaire also. We floated amongst the FRK manufacturers and we got the response. Then we thought that why not to go for the focused group discussion instead of just getting the answers or getting the outputs or the outcomes of the questionnaire. We also invited some of this FRK manufacturers and we did the focused group discussion. That was our data collection method. Also, we have visited many of the industries also. Like we have done the convenience sampling that we have targeted that Chhattisgarh, Odisha, this Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, these states we targeted, and we thought that why not to go for each and every industries, whatever we can just how many we can just focus on, and because of that we can just predict that what is the non-profitable non-probability sampling we can do, and how this can be giving us the result in terms of the skill gap. Next, ma'am. So these are the industries, as you can see, we have targeted in Odisha, Jharkhand, Bihar, UP, Chhattisgarh. These are the industries which we have actually visited, and also we have invited them for the focused group discussion with NIT Rourkela and FICSI. Next, ma'am. So these are the means, like we have taken not only just spoke with the higher administration, we also spoke with the number of operators, we spoke with the laborers, those who are working, all the workers also we spoke based, because what we are actually planning is why not to go for the FRK manufacturers, those who are having the orders, and they have to fulfill those orders in the coming time. So we targeted those particular FRK manufacturers only, because those who are having the bulk of orders, and they are actually facing the problems in that particular domain, that we have targeted. So we targeted operators also, supervisors also, the higher administration also, CEO level also, and also the workers, those who are actually working in on the machine or on the in the machine in the particular process technology. Next, ma'am. So based on this skill gaps which we have find out, that after visiting FRK manufacturers, we areas which we have find out is that where all the skills are actually needed, or they have asked for the skills that if it will be there, that will be good as a supervisor, it will be good for our industry as a worker, that we will come to know that about what all things has to be done. The process areas came as rice flour composition or the rice flooring operation. In that, what actually is happening is, say for example, many of the industries which we have visited or which we have spoke with, they told that there are no problem in this flooring and everything, because they have the automated machines and everything. But the pulverization machine or the quality of the premix, that they were not actually they were not acquainted with those things. So that is the skill gap which we identified, that the workers, because at the supervisor level they were pretty much sure that what is the premix and what is the level they are coming, but the workers level, the technical knowledge were very much minimal. So what we thought, that why not to address this particular as a process area. Also premix handling was one of the thing, then mixture operation, then screw conveyor operation, extruder operation, drying operation, packaging, these all things. Because see, for example, if I will be talking about this extruder operation, in this extruder operation, when we spoke with the supervisors, they told that whatever protocols we are having, say for example, voltage fluctuation is happening, or improper blade replacement, because blade replacement was also a very crucial step, but they were not knowing, because when they were working actually in the industry, because of the change in the temperature means but the ambient temperature outside which is there, and the machine which is operating, the heat is generated. Because of that, they cannot just control the heat which has been produced. So what they thought, what they were telling, that there was like this breakage of the iron particles were there, and they were just incorporated. So they told that we don't know that when to actually this change this or replace this particular blades, or what is the voltage fluctuations which are happening. So based on that, we found out that okay, this is actually the area which is required, because it is directly related with the consumer health and the consumer perception. So that is the area, that is how we have find out the skill gaps in the field visit. Ma'am, next. So in a nutshell, if I will tell, extruder operation, voltage fluctuation and improper blade management were there. In drying operation, high moisture content and inconsistent drying, they were telling these things to us, that they actually need the training, or they need a manual, or they need a SOP in these particular things. Then flaring operation, then screw conveyor operation, improper maintenance, and this the most common problem which we heard was the handling operation, that is the nutrient sticking to the utensils. So in that terms, when we had this no focus group discussion and everything, me and Professor Chandrakant Dalbhagat, we both was there, and we find out that this was the problem which was told by around 6 to 7 industries, that the utensils sticking to the nutrients which were there, the premix mixture 1 to 100 or 1 to 200 was there, that was not actually been maintained because of this sticking to the utensils. So that was the problem that has been identified by this particular skill gap, and now this needs to be how we are going to tackle these things, by giving them industry training, or by giving them the hands-on training inside in-house in the industries. Next, ma'am. So these are some of the survey photographs which we have done in field visit. So these are all the photographs we personally visited, and we found out that how they are doing the drying, what is happening actually inside the FRK manufacturers. Then we moved that, why not to, ma'am, next, ma'am. So we moved that, why not to go for a focus group discussion. We have to talk with the persons who are actually dealing and who are actually operating the machines, or who are actually involved in that particular operation. So we called in series of this focus group discussion FGDs. In these FGDs, we have invited one CEO, one supervisor, one operator, one worker. So this was our hierarchical procedure. In that, we wanted to talk to each and every management, that where all you are actually finding the problem. So in that, the first problem which they told was the extruder operation only. So what was the extruder operation they were lacking in? That they were telling that the training on the extruder, that is in the cutting or the blending, or this no leading to the inefficient and equipment malfunctions which are happening, there is no SOP or the manuals is there. So we found out that operational knowledge is little bit less, because the operator who is actually working on that thing, he is not that much educated. So he need to have the training, the supervisor, whatever the supervisor is telling. But by the time the person is going and reporting it to supervisor, the maximum like no loss has been done already. So this routine maintenance, voltage management, blade replacement, and heater arrangement. So what we thought, that these skill gaps can be identified, or that is identified, can be done, or that can be addressed by this training required, that is that training on the extruder operation, voltage fluctuation, blade replacement, and heater arrangement. These all things, if combined together, can be given to the not only to the supervisor, but with supervisor and operator going inside the FRK unit, their unit, we can just call up the like no hubs we can make, and those hubs we can go and we can just directly give them the training in that particular domain. Same goes with the drying operation also, the moisture and the texture understanding, because some of them were drying the products and everything on the ground only, so they would not be sure that how to maintain the temperature, what actually the how we are going to monitor those things, what is the and the raw kernels were okay, but the boiled kernels was having the most of the problems. The equipment maintenance related to this, and this all these things were like no always there. So we found out that these Hello. only the English documentation cannot work in this particular. So document language is the most important thing which came as a skill gap in that particular thing, which is making them inefficient. Inefficient means because they cannot understand. So training effectively, effective training can be given so that the document language can be just no, it can be mitigated to them also. Then machine maintenance, and then some of the CEOs were actually asking when we were talking about the Bengal or the new FRK manufacturers, they were actually telling that if they want to set up a new FRK industry, what is the actually challenges they are going to face, how they are planning, what are the workforce training they are required, site selection, regulation compliances, infrastructure planning, technology and training. So there should be a comprehensive mechanism in terms of training should be there, that should be not only pre-processing, not only processing, not only marketing, but also that how we are going to set up those things, it should be there. So these are the findings which we found out in the focus group discussion. Next, ma'am. So in a nutshell, when we figured out that these are the some of the snaps which we have done the this FGDs. Ma'am, next, ma'am. Now, when we are talking about technical skill deficiency, what is the challenges? That lack of operator training and inadequate maintenance, what of equipment. So these two are the skill gaps that needed to be identified and that needed to be addressed by the help of a training. Language barrier, English documentation, regional language needs, these are the challenges. Equipment malfunction, there should be a proper workflow disruption. Each and everything should be there in a document, and they had that improper pulverization maintenance and everything has to be targeted. That this is the actually problem what is happening, that need to be targeted in the particular FRK manufacturing. Same goes with the quality control issues. That is the what is the nutrient losses, premix handling is happening, standardization operation protocol. What is actually, so these inefficiencies which are there, that and the quality issues which are there in the FRK production, these are actually the challenges which we find out as a skill gap in the FRK manufacturing. Next, ma'am. So these are our key recommendations. Key recommendations that one has to always uh, find out that what is required by them, that is development of target training program in terms of what, how we are going to technically skill them, and quality control training, these two trainings, by giving them a comprehensive HACCP, because the workers or the operators or the supervisors, they are not that much educated so that they can just disseminate, because the top administration which is there, they can only tell the protocols that okay, this you have to do. But the operators, those who are working, the supervisors, those who are working, and because most of them, when we spoke with many of the industries, they told that we have completely automatic machines and everything we have, so there is no requirement of anything. But still there is voltage fluctuation is there, these things has to be told to a operator and to told to the supervisor. So based on that, the three things we have targeted, that is development of training program in terms of its skill enhancement, in terms of quality control. Second is the continuous professional development for that person, that is upgradation of machinery, how we are going to upgrade the machineries, what is happening inside the machinery, advances in the control system, what is happening, and then enhancement in the workforce management practice, that is the career progression, how we are going to communicate with them, how we are going to actually just tell them that what is the policy which is coming. Because it is not that but just you have to produce the FRK, that has the reports and everything has to be uploaded also. That also is the skill gap which came into these findings, that it has to be also told to the supervisor, CEO and everybody, that how we are going to actually upload this particular reports to the websites. Next, ma'am. So based on this key recommendation, that is what we are proposing here, is that there should be a training program on technical skill enhancement, quality control training should be there, and continuous professional development should be there. We should be like sidewise, we can just give them the policy supports, we can give the PPPs, like FICSI is already doing those things. But how they are going to be skilled, that is the technical equipment based and quality control based and the marketing based, these all thing based training programs they have to give, so that they can develop SOP for their particular industry. Then how they are going to improve the this collaboration in terms of the language and everything, that should be given as a target. So these are our key recommendations which is there. Next, ma'am. So standard operating protocol is also we have already told in this particular site, and I will request madam to just share these slides so that we can like think that what all things should be there. Like in an industry there should be a complete manual on machinery inspection should be there. Raw material quality assessment should be there in the pre-production. Then in production there should be blending process, extrusion process. These things are actually available in this FSCI sites, but once we are going into the industry, their work culture is entirely different. They cannot just read the things and they can just adapt. So there we have to give them a training or hands-on training or in-house training in terms of production. That is very much required. Then after post-production, finished product training, then packaging and labeling is the major standard protocol that has to be given. Then daily production logs and the incident reporting. These all things are also very important. Then review and update of the SOPs are required. Employee feedback and mechanism, that where actually they are actually every day they are facing new problems, that how we are going to overcome those things. So next, ma'am. So on these basis, we have formulated that this is the 5 pillars, that these are the pre-production, production, post-production, record keeping, and continuous improvement are the 5 pillars that we have to target as a training module for as a identified skill gap, because these skill gaps are in pre-production also, in production also, in post-production also, in record keeping as, and continuous improvement means if they want to establish a newer or the next FRK manufacturing unit. Next, ma'am. So based on that what we thought that uh, how we are going to give the training. So we training aspects we have designed, that these are the design, that how we can do that. Then customized modular training programs can be developed by hands-on practice and machinery and the quality control partnership, as FICSI and IIT, NIT and IHRF is already doing those things. Then regular skill enhancement and and what is the new things coming in the government and the industry collaboration, what all things are coming, that also can be included in the future training mechanism. Next, ma'am. So comprehensive training program has to be there. That is customized modular training program. Customized, why we have written that? It depends on training on the geographical place, on the site, on the industry basis. So that is why this customized modular training program has to be given. Then partnership with educational institute is very important, that how time to time research and development can be done by going there and just seeing that what is actually the problem is there. Then continuous learning and upskilling, so that the training can be given. Advanced learning technologies can be given, because nowadays the testing and everything is rapidly changing, that how we are going to equip them with those things. Then regular skill assessment and feedback, that actually what is actually required in the system. And government and industry collaboration is very much required, so that the what is actually industries are doing, that should be going to the government. Next, ma'am. So based on that, these are the things which we wanted to put up here. That concluding remark, that in operational challenges, collaboration and planning, training needs, skill gap, and technology and infrastructure, rice flouring, premix handling, mixture operation, screw conveyor operation, extruder operation, drying, packaging, machine maintenance, these all things still requires a skilling. The person who is dealing with the operator who is dealing with, he has to be equipped with all these things. And still the in-house training is required, rather than giving them the training by the PPT. What we can just do is we can go to the particular industries, we can target, or we can make the groups clusters, we can make, and we can go to Bihar, we can go to some industries, we can take the permission, and we can just find out that how we are going to give the training. So this can be done by a training need, that is the practical skilling, equipment maintenance skilling, and the technical knowledge skilling. So ma'am, next. with this, I would like to thank everybody for this patience learning. And I would also like to say that this is the continuous process of FGD has also given us the very important aspect that instead of only going for the production, the target for the production, they also wanted that there should be always one feedback mechanism should be there. That feedback mechanism, as FICSI is doing, they have to continuously take their queries, because they are telling that when we were talking to them in FGDs and everything, what they told that, sir, can you just like Chandrakant sir, can you just tell me that why this extruder is stucking and why this is not coming out, or why this is breaking? So these are the questions we are talking as externals, but you guys are experts. So there is a continuous mechanism has to be there, so that there should be a upskilling of the labor should be there. So with this, I think the training, comprehensive training program, we have also I have made that thing, but because of this PPT, I have already shared like but 3 days back. So I have not included in this particular PPT, but I have the PPT right now that how I have formulated the training programs and everything. With this, I would like to thank each and everybody for the patience learning, patience hearing, and I'm open for anything, suggestion and everything. And I would thank again to the FICSI, Mishra sir, and IHRF member. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Dr.
sir.
Madhuresh. And,
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm actually really, I appreciate all the effort, that NIT Rourkela has taken to do this in-depth skill gap analysis. And I'm
Thank you,
pretty
ma'am.
sure, that the findings that you have discovered, during this landscape analysis, there is a lot of, work that needs to be done. And all of us as part of IHRF, we have to, double up our efforts and take into account the findings, as you mentioned about your slides. So I will be sharing the skill gap analysis report with all of our IHRF members. And I think Sahu sir and Mishra sir, we would definitely agree that this is something that is coming at a very good time, and it will chart out the path for us on how we have to sort of fine tune the training and capacity building programs, or whatever research work that we are doing, in order to address the specific needs of the FRK manufacturing ecosystem at large. So I think, Dr. Madhuresh, we will be taking questions towards the end of the session. As
Oh,
per
sure.
the agenda, I would request you to kindly, wait till we
No
wind
problem,
up
ma'am.
the session and reach to the end for the Q&A. So
Thank you, ma'am.
moving ahead, now it is time for the panel discussion. So as I had mentioned, at the start, IHRF, or the Innovation Hub for Rice Fortification, is a consortium of 5 partners, and that comprises of IIT Delhi, IIT Kharagpur, CFTRI, Mysuru, NIFTEM, Kundali, and FICSI. So you've heard about, the work that FICSI has been doing, and how all 5 of us are working collaboratively to address, the concerns of the FRK manufacturing ecosystem. So now, I'm opening the dais, and we'll be hearing, from the uh, representatives of the remaining 4 organizations that are part of our IHRF symposium. So before I address them, I would like to give you a brief introduction about all the members. So with us we have Emeritus Professor Dr. H.N. Mishra. He's from IIT Kharagpur. Then we have Professor Jatinder Kumar Sahu from IIT Delhi. We have Dr. Giridhar P, who's a Chief Scientist at CFTRI, and we have Arun Omlalji. He's the Industry Chair Professor, NIFTEM Kundali. So moving ahead, my first question is for Mishra sir. Sir, I would request you to kindly unmute yourself. आप mute पे हैं. So, sir, the thing that we all want to know is, how is IIT Kharagpur tackling the challenge of micronutrient retention during the cooking process of the fortified rice kernels? And what research have you conducted in this area till date? Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Pritha ji. So first of all, I would like to congratulate FICSI for organizing this event, and more importantly to NIT Rourkela, Dr. Madhuresh Dwivedi, who just spoke now, and really he has brought into the forefront all the challenges which at present the FRK manufacturing industries are facing in the country. Government of India has implemented the program very well. All right. But and all stakeholders are doing their best, but still the ground reality remains the same, what Dr. Madhuresh has narrated. And it shows that is at every level, whether we are researchers or implementers of the program, enforcers, regulators, all the, even the industry, they all have to go miles ahead. If really we want that this Rice Fortification program should come to the conclusion what far it has been implemented, that it gives. So now I coming to the actual question that yes, which you had asked, that how to ensure that the micronutrients which are added into the rice during fortification process, during extrusion process, are retained in the FRK during the cooking process. And that is one very, very important. Otherwise, if the micronutrient, and that was, you see earlier, this fortification program was done by the either dusting or by coating. And this was the major problem in those technologies, that during washing and cooking, almost all the, because those micronutrients were on the surface of the rice. So during cooking and washing, they were leached out. So to overcome that issue, we went to this extrusion processing, where you know the technology that rice flour pulverized, and then in the micronutrient are mixed properly in that is the micronutrient premix, and then this is again with the using the extrusion process, the kernels are remade. So the first and foremost, that is the thing which one need to do to ensure that the micronutrients are retained or they are not lost during cooking, is the extrusion process. That is very, Dr. Madhuresh also told. So extrusion process parameter has to be properly standardized, proper SOP has to be formed, and proper that process must be like what are the extruder, presser, etc. You see, this is a real marriage between engineering and chemistry. Once you see rice in making broken rice, you are disintegrating it into the fine particle size, and as fine as the flour particles, vitamin, mineral, premix particles, then it will give you a better FRK. So optimizing the extrusion process parameter to achieve minimum micronutrient loss during cooking, that is the one. And also because if the extrusion process is properly conducted, then the starch, etc., it properly, if the gelatinized, and then after you cool it down, that when dry or cool, then it gets retrograded. So this gelatinization and retrogradation process ensure that the micronutrients, they are properly bound in the matrix, and they are not released during cooking process, etc. So that is one becomes very, very important. And also if proper extrusion is done, then gruel loss, that is, there are two losses. One is the micronutrient leaching loss, other is the solid loss during cooking. If the solid loss is more, and that again by proper extrusion condition it can be, and we are telling on the basis of whatever I am speaking, all these matters have been researched in our laboratory, and we have got a report on this. So extrusion by leaching losses and then solid losses. Then we can come, that is yes, during the extrusion process, there are other methods also, like there are certain bindings. As I told you, basically you have to ensure that these micronutrients, they are properly bound with the starch and other matrix inside the FRK. So there are certain, we have used for research purpose, like sodium alginate and other gums, guar gums and other gums, etc., like xanthan gum and all those things. And then when these gums are used, it provides a protective barrier coating to the micronutrients, and it gives more strength inside the matrix, and the micronutrient is held more tightly. It is not released during cooking. This colloids which are used, or gums, etc., they enhance water absorption and reduce water soluble micronutrient losses, and then they effectively increase the retention. And also their inclusion improves the texture and integrity of the FRKs. Like that, the FRK is even solid losses are also reduced. Then another very important observation which we have found, that if the FRK is made from a freshly harvested paddy, rice which has been made from the paddy which is freshly harvested, and then a rice which is stored for 1 year or 2 years, and then FRK is manufactured from that. That solid loss as well as micronutrient loss is much less in the rice where that which is stored for a longer time. And this is basically nothing much, basically the amylose and amylopectin. All right. During storage, amylopectin is hydrolyzed into amyl. So amylose and amylopectin ratio also is one very important factor. And we also found that if when premix is made, vitamin mineral premix is added, during that time, if some pre-gelatinized starch is added into it, then it further acts. Like what purpose was doing that hydrocolloids, gums, etc., then pre-gelatinized. And this is nothing but you can say parboiled rice. That is, and we have found in our study, we have published that paper also, that if 5%, up to 5% of the parboiled rice flour in a particular, so it improves the texture, it improves the hardness, etc., of the FRK, and therefore reduces the cooking losses, leaching of the micronutrients, etc. And then another thing is that this, of course, we have recommended in the BIS standard also to go for the watertight cooking. That is, if we go that instead of that is having much water and then drain that water in order to retain all the micronutrient, if use only that, go for either pressure cooking or other watertight cooking method, use water, whatever water is required for the cooking purpose, don't throw it out. So in that way we can. So these are some of the ways by which, but in this again, that is the more important is the extrusion process optimization, even drying also, drying which that Madhuresh was telling, that is, if the drying temperature and other things are not properly maintained, then it introduces fissures inside the kernel at a higher temperature. Many industries, they might not know, but we have conducted this study and then analyzed that image, internal image of the FRK, etc. We have found that when drying is conducted at a higher temperature, it introduces internal fissures. And then when you cook that rice or while there's rice, then at those fissure point it breaks. So the solid losses, cruel losses are more. So that can be avoided by the optimizing drying process. So extrusion, drying, and cooling, etc. Then storage, all these parameters should be properly maintained, conducted, and then in addition to, although at present not many hydrocolloids are permitted as per the FSSAI, but yes, it is we are doing as per the R&D, and when we get as there are, these are whatever hydrocolloids we have studied, they are all food grades, and when it is confirmed that they are giving good result, then it can be recommended to the FSSAI, and that can be, because there are many food products where these hydrocolloids are being added for various purposes. So there is no harm, it can be added. And regarding sensory characteristics, we have found no change by adding these hydrocolloids, etc. So still this work we are continuing on the hydrocolloid addition and improvement in the cooking losses, etc.
Okay. Okay.
That's all. Over to you, Pritha.
Okay.
I hope
Thank
it
you.
answers your queries.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll be taking the queries, as I said, at the end. Now I'll be moving to Mr. Arun Omlalji, because he's hard pressed for some time. He has another meeting to attend. So Arunji, so as you are from NIFTEM, and we know that NIFTEM again is involved in doing a lot of training on the quality assurance part for the FRK manufacturer. So, we wanted to know what are the key elements, that are part of this training program, and also how do you ensure that the FRK manufacturers, once they take these trainings, they are meeting the FRK standards as laid down by FSSAI. Over to you, sir. So you may unmute yourself.
Thank you, Pritha. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to convey what NIFTEM has been doing. I've been hearing for the last 1 hour the good work done by your organization, and the team has really put forward the efficient work which can help the manufacturers. Further, my team members, Dr. Mishra, Dr. Sahu, CFTRI and NIFTEM working along together for the Rice Fortification project. We at NIFTEM, if I need to specify on the trainings, so we do quality assurance training and certification programs on rice fortification, and these are designed to ensure that the manufacturers of fortified rice kernels meet stringent standards related to nutrition, safety, and quality. These programs align with India's national guidelines on rice fortification, especially in the context of government initiatives like the public distribution system and the midday meal schemes run by.
Hello? Hello? I think there is some network issue with Arunji's network. I think we can just wait for a couple of seconds.
I'm sorry,
Not
I
a
had a
problem.
network drop out there.
Not
So
a
I was
problem.
talking about the key elements of NIFTEM's quality assurance and certification program. So we emphasize on technical training on fortification process. Like probably the team knows about it, we have a model rice fortification plant at NIFTEM at CEF, which is the Center of Excellency for Food Fortification. We have set up number of staple food fortification model plants, out of which rice fortification is one, wherein we provide the manufacturers, the manufacturers are trained on the correct blending techniques for mixing FRK with milled rice at a ratio of 1:100. The training ensures that micronutrient stability is maintained throughout the production process. To be very honest with you, micronutrient premixes are the heart of any fortification program, which has to be communicated in the right way. And who else but we can help out the process of how the micronutrient premixes are manufactured, what are the process the premixes go through, and the nutrients which are there in the premixes, and how these nutrients are processed in terms of a perfect blend of premix which really comes out and provides it to the manufacturer. Like rightly said by Professor Mishra, what is required out here is the right overages, which can take care of the process loss, which is there in any manufacturer's plant, be it a small scale or a large scale organization. In fact, we provide right instruction on the appropriate use of premixes. We provide a process chart on how the premixes is made. And particularly, to be very honest, why a premix? I've been seeing a lot of manufacturers out here who procure direct nutrients and are putting it into the fortification process and not the premix. We as well as FSSAI recommend the right premix to be used, which are a perfect blend of iron, folic acid, and B12. And sometimes it goes on to the additional export market of rice fortification, where we include vitamin A, vitamin B1, B2, B3, and zinc in line with FSSAI guidelines. Indeed. Apart from the technical training on fortification process, be it the rice fortification blending as well as the right premix blending with the dosers being provided, we also help and support our manufacturers for complying of the regulatory standards. The program ensures FRK manufacturers are aware of and comply with national standards set up by FSSAI and BIS certifications. In fact, we help our manufacturers to procure the right machinery which has been recommended and regulated by BIS. So the unit that we have is BIS standard machineries, and we help the FBOs to understand as to how the procurement should be done, and not only the Chinese machineries, but the Indian machineries that we buy and how it has to be adhered to the BIS standards. We also work, which is very important in today's fortification processes, the good manufacturing practices and quality control, wherein quality assurance of the nutrients and the right type of the kernels of rice has to be procured, which has to be taught in the right. I'm sorry, please bear with me with regard to the network drops around out there. So quality control protocols are also shared, such as regular testing of fortified rice for uniformity in micronutrient content, appearance, and taste. Specific attention is paid to the sensory properties of rice to prevent any deviation in taste or texture from regular rice. The advantage is we basically have a center for food research and analysis, where we analyze and help the manufacturers and basically do sensory and help them in the right type and right quality of rice which comes out with. NIFTEM also facilitates hand-on training in laboratory methods for testing the micronutrient content of fortified rice kernels. Like I said, with our nationalized lab, which is a referral lab by FSSAI, we help them and facilitate the training process on testing of these rice which is there. The training focuses both in-house and third-party validation to ensure the nutrient profile matches the regulatory requirement, which is very important in today's time. Manufacturers are trained in using modern analytical tools to measure the stability of micronutrient across the shelf life of fortified rice, which is there. We work on the supply chain integrity. We ensure that the entire supply chain from rice to making the FRK to the process are all integrated with regular rices monitored and provided the entire knowledge to the trainers around out there. This includes traceability mechanism and proper storage conditions to preserve the fortified rice quality throughout the distribution system. We also help them out with audit and certification program. Too early to say, but NIFTEM is also working with the premix certification programs along with the team out here and taking advice from GAIN International, and because they already have a process which is worked out. So we are closely working with QCI and FSSAI in working out a certification program. NIFTEM certification program will involve, I would say, periodic audits of the manufacturing processes, ensuring that they consistently meet the required standards for rice fortification. We are basically going ahead then rice fortification, talking about staple food fortification also, wherein we can help certifying the flour food fortification, oil food fortification, which is not mandatory at this moment, but optional. But yes, we are in the process of working on that. Certification will be awarded based on adherence to quality parameters, which strengthens consumer confidence in the fortified rice being distributed. So through these programs, NIFTEM ensures that the FRK manufacturers are equipped with the right knowledge and tools, the machinery tools to produce fortified rice that is safe, nutritionally adequate, and in compliance with both national and global standards. This contributes to the broader goal of combating malnutrition, combating micronutrient deficiencies, which are there, which we call hidden hunger in vulnerable population through the staple food fortification and large-scale food fortification process. This is what NIFTEM had to communicate. Thank you very much, audience, for listening to me patiently, and probably if there are any questions, I'm ready to answer, but I'm sorry, not at this moment. I can be mailed, or everyone has my number, and we can. In fact, I would want a lot of debates to happen on the fortification program, and particularly the staple food and the large-scale food fortification program, and even FICSI to train our trainers, which can help in quality training to the manufacturers, the rice manufacturers, or the staple food fortification manufacturers around out there. This is a must where we require support from FICSI around out here.
Happy to help.
Sorry.
Happy to help, sir. Happy to help there. Thank you so much for sharing insights and the work done by NIFTEM till date as part of the consortium, and also other work in other areas of fortification. In particular, we've been regular at the NIFTEM campus, and as you saw in our previous presentation, we have conducted 2-3 sessions, for hands-on training for students and some manufacturers at the NIFTEM location.
Sorry, we are far away from, so we don't have. We talk about quality controls and everything, but our quality network is not there. So please.
That's okay. I think today is a day, where the network gods are not so happy with us. So we've been facing the issue. Any which ways, we should really commend and appreciate the what do you say, the patience of all the people who have joined us for actively listening to us and bearing with all the network ups and downs that we've been having since the start of the session. So any which ways, thank you so much, Arunji, for your insights. So moving ahead, I would now like to invite Professor Jatinder Sahuji from IIT Delhi. Sir, so we wanted to know from you, as we are aware that IIT Delhi is making some rapid detection toolkits, for the FRK. So can you share the insight into the rapid detection toolkits that your team is developing, and how do these tools ensure the quality and safety of FRKs? And furthermore, what is the plan of integrating them into the industry practices? Over to you, sir.
Right. Thank you, Pritha. And first of all, I congratulate you and your team for organizing such a program. Of course, after a long time, because we wanted to meet you, physically more, but it happens, offline, online. So probably we'll meet next time. So very briefly, I'll be talking about the, activities of IIT Delhi as the one of the, partners of this consortium, because the IHRF is the 5, partners we have, and as part of the, we are taking one vertical, and one as part of the objectives of the project. So we are, given the task of to devise some kind of detection kits. Now, basically, again, detection kits means a real time. We say RAP kit, FSI. They say the rapid analytical toolkits. Okay. So again, the challenge is that looking at the volume and the scale of the operation of the supply chain of FRK, we need kind of paper based or kind of real time detection kits which can be used at the grassroots level to identify. Of course, again, FSI they have their own kind of regulation. They say enable accredited labs, something like that. Of course, that is again they have the regulated protocol. But so far, what we are trying to do, we are trying to devise some kind of low cost. Again, I'm telling because there are three micronutrients we are targeting. One is iron, another is vitamin B12 and folic acid. And if you see iron, it is okay. We have some kind of successful devices where we can detect the iron content in fortified rice. Again, if you say vitamin B12 and your folic acid, that is very challenging. So we are trying different methods. Of course, IIT KGP, they are doing some kind of innovations in terms of high prospective imaging. And we are working in some kind of devices. First, I will tell you one thing. We are working on homogeneity testing. First thing, of course, IIT KGP is doing one device. They are using high prospective imaging. Mishra sir is there. Okay. So we are trying to have some kind of course, if you say high prospective imaging, of course, I'm comparing or criticizing any technology, but what I'm telling we are doing. So we are trying to do some kind of low cost devices or low cost, I can say it is not device, I can say it is a toolkit where we can do the homogeneity testing between your fortified rice and the unfortified rice or plain rice. Of course, the cost, again, this is also the, if you understand the principle wise, it is some kind of amazing technique again. Since it is on the patent, of course, we have filed this, this innovation, and probably after 2 months we'll be having that patent application. Then I'll disclose it. Basically, it is an imaging technique, and where the cost of the device, what we have estimated so far, our lab scale device comes around 30,000 per unit. Probably that will give homogeneity testing, not differentiating different micronutrients. Okay, this is one. And second aspect, we are trying to do kind of folic acid testing. Folic acid. So that is again we are doing different. It is basically we are trying to have some kind of aptamer based method, based techniques or mechanisms, basically aptamers, and we have screened various aptamers for our device. We have patented about 16 aptamers for our device, and this device, the folic acid based aptamer device, because this is recent one we have started, and we have if you see the technology level, tier level, it is tier level 5. Tier level 5. That means it is our patenting level. So once our patenting is done, probably will be coming to the market level. So again, another approach we are doing the iron concentration. As I said, iron concentration. Of course, our Department of Biochemical Engineering, they have devised one chemical solution based. That solution, that liquid solution. When you wet this FRK, that will give some kind of color where you can differentiate from the color measurement how this fortification happens. But if you see, it is a destructive method where you will lose, quite, a huge amount of rice in the whole supply chain. If you visualize the scale and operation of a, supply chain of FRK rice. So what we are trying to minimize that, destructive method into a non-destructive method. Therefore, we are using that color-based imaging technique based on the aptamer, so that we will have some kind of device. So our proposal is that, of course, that is already we have patented. It is available in a lab. So that is like, I can say, I don't have device. This is like a oximeter. It is simply oximeter. So we put the sample on the cube, and that will give some kind of indicator that color is taken care by we say of course we are applying the Raman there. We are using Raman there. Raman, the advanced is surface enhanced Raman spectroscopy. So that gives kind of, we say OD. That OD is quantified to a kind of color value. That color chart is taken by quantification. That is digitalization is happened. That gives you kind of color chart that gives the quantity or quality at both sides. So third aspect, of course, this is based on the demand of the FCI. They need some kind of devices how to detect the aflatoxins at the store level or the go down. So what we are trying to do, of course, that is this device is already available. That again, it is aptamer based device, and this is available with us. It gives quite accurate result as per the FSI, and it can be used to detect the quality of the FRK in the storehouse or in the go downs, first go down. So far the commercialization part is concerned, because we are working 4 aspects. So far the commercial aspect concerned, because we are academic institutions. So we do not have that kind of protocol where you can bring the technology to the commercial sector. So what we are planning, so all the things are patented technologies. So what we are trying to do in next few months, we are trying to have innovators or kind of industrial conclave where we will demonstrate all kind of technologies probably I'll invite Professor Mishra, KGP, and of course CFTRI is doing some kind of wrapped kit also. We'll invite all the innovators or kind of researcher at a particular point. We'll have a conclave. There we'll demonstrate our technology to the different stakeholders in Rice Fortification ecosystem. Probably that will give some kind of commercial aspect of the devices that we are working, because as an academic R&D institution, we do not have the mechanism where you can establish commercial unit. So probably in this way we'll be going forward, and all that kind of devices are full proven in my lab. So if anybody visits to lab, I can demonstrate all the devices. Probably if any kind of industrial person present here, if they are also interested, they can come to my lab. We'll demonstrate them, and if they are interested, they can take the technology forward based on the kind of agreement. Okay, this is all from my side, Pritha.
Thank you so much, sir, for shedding light, on how rapid testing kit you've been developing and how the color density gets measured. So moving to the last panelist for today, Dr. Giridhar P. Sir, he's the chief scientist at CFTRI. Sir, can you please unmute yourself and switch on your camera?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah,
sir, as IIT Delhi, they are working on the detection of the quality component. We understand that CFTRI is contributing to the strengthening of the laboratory ecosystem. I think Mishra sir, you want to come in? And he's saying hi. Okay.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Professor Mishra sir, and also Professor Sahu, and all other members of Pritha and other members participating in this one. Along with my colleague, Dr. Usha, is also here. She's a copy of this project.
Okay.
So
Welcome.
as you all know that CFTRI's main objective is standardization and dissemination of methods for testing the micronutrients and digital monitoring and maintenance of the quality of fortified rice, and blending efficiency test optimization, and training and capacity building. So on these lines we are working. As of now, CFTRI activity-wise, initially in October 2020, the last year, the standards and SOP for premixes quality evaluation was assessed mainly to ensure the purity of the samples. I mean, whatever vitamin B9, B12, and iron things aspect. Similarly, we have participated in a couple of proficiency test methods also, especially with the vitamin B9 and B12, that we could able to successfully clear. Regarding the iron, there were some issues that we are not able to through, and we are waiting for the next part of that one. So although it is in the NABL list, but in the FICSI, we are about to get the inclusion in the list, because unless we complete the proficiency test in the iron also, it will not be listed. That's why we are waiting for that component. Now, there is 3 different training programs under this project for the capacity building wise we have conducted. So one for the state technical units, participation members, and also government officials, and especially this vitamin B9 and B12, one particular program conducted, and for iron exclusively another program also we conducted. Similarly, my colleague had gone to Assam to give training to the state technical of the working group officers to give clarity and to clear the doubts pertaining to the equipment operation and also the matrix wise. That she would like to share now after completing this one. Similarly, one of my colleagues is also working on the optimization of a pivot-based solution-based method to optimize the blending ratio in the fat. So that is one kit she is also contemplating. So some preliminary things we could able to got the leads in this aspect, and further it's fine tuning is happening, and very soon we would like to share further development on this one. Regarding the feedback from the participants, most of the cases, the training, whatever we conducted, the stability aspect and matrix aspect, especially in the food matrix, that plays a key role in getting the actual content analysis of vitamin B9 and B12 and also the iron. That some samples we could able to get from the IHRF Foundation. Only that samples from 8 different zones earlier we got it, that we did it. But nevertheless, recently we asked many more samples, and last week only I got information that they are going to send a second lot of samples. Once we get those samples and complete method validation with all the scores and statistics, we can able to submit that one. Then we can give a consolidated, validated method also. Then we can go for ILC also. That is what I, from my side. And I would like to request Dr. Mishra also to add few points.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. It was is a symposium where every laboratory has shared their opinion and various activities under this particular IHRF project. I would like to share a few experiences what we have understood while conducting this training program. We had so far conducted 6 training programs, 1 in person at their site. The main concern that when we are trying that capacity building of the lab personnel for the quality control and quality assurance, what we have observed is the methods that they were trying to have an in-house validation of FSSAI, they face some challenges. These challenges include mainly the robustness of the method, because they are not able to obtain a repeatability of the B12 content in the fortified rice or the FRK method. So henceforth, most of the state laboratories who are able to have the equipment but not able to have an in-house validation of the method is because of robustness of the method. Most of the laboratories, especially the state laboratories, whether it is Assam State Public Health Laboratory, they could able to get the accreditation in the NABL, because that doesn't restrict the type of the method that you are using, and it needs to be any kind of a method where they have a complete validation done. And the method that is released by the FSSAI includes several methods. Like for premix, it has 2 methods for B9, B12. It has fortified rice kernel, 2 methods for B9, B12, and then again fortified rice, 2 methods for B9 and B12. So for each analyte and for each type of the fortified rice, kernel and premix, there are several methods being proposed by FSSAI, and there was a confusion in most of the state laboratories that which method, each and every kind of a matrix, do we need to have that particular method to be adopted. And that is one confusion, because that is not the intention of FSSAI. The intention of FSSAI to propose several methods for the several matrices is about the availability that the particular laboratory can have. It was not the constraint in AOAC PT program also, but many of the state laboratories who participated in this particular PT program, they have expressed that they have to follow the FSSAI method of that particular matrix. For example, the fortified rice kernel, when it is being given, they have to follow the fortified rice kernel method, and they followed that, and they got a less recovery because the method was still not optimized in their laboratory for its robustness and ruggedness. So that is the reason most of the state laboratories, even the recent people who have come from Jharkhand, and they also say Pune, the state laboratory, they followed exactly the FRK method of FSSAI, and their PT recovery was less, and that's the reason their Z score was high. So on the other hand, when they were we explained them, these methods were being given in such a way so that the lab can adopt any one of the method for all the type of the matrices if they could do the validation. It was not a constraint that they need to follow as is what is given. And it was also not a constraint even in AOAC PT program, because they have given an option that which method they are actually following. So this confusion led many of the state food laboratories not to qualify for the PT program. They were having a higher Z score because of this, because whichever laboratory had an outliers, they had given this root cause analysis as a main problem. So that's the reason we found that there is a need of a systematic understanding of each method to all the analysts and the lab personals to explain them which method to be adopted and how confident they are in adopting that particular method. That was one biggest gap which we observed in the most of the laboratory personnel. It is very, very difficult for any particular laboratory, even a referral laboratory or a primary food laboratory, to have those many 6 different methods for 3 different matrices or 2 different analytes to maintain all those reagents. So it was been misinterpreted by most of the lab personnel that they have to do in that way. So that was one biggest concern. We also have expressed this to FSSAI, telling that you have to tell that these are the alternative methods. You cannot restrict that this particular method of FRK, you need to follow these 2. If a particular laboratory has already validated a fortified rice method, and if they are able to show the fortified rice kernel or premix with that particular method, it is considered to be eligible, because those are all the methods for B9 and B12, and they are all very similar matrices. So we wanted to, in this regard only, we requested last time's meeting also, the IHRF team, that if they give us a sufficient number of samples, we would like to validate and support this to the FSSAI, so that they can release this order of confusion of why there were so many different methods, and each laboratory has to follow all the method according to the matrix. So this gives lot of hope to many state laboratories, because they are optimized one method and immediately there is another order with another method released. Most of the laboratories, FRK method, which is a dilute shoot method and an easier method, they are adopting that, and they are able to get an enable accreditation, but not able to qualify the FSSAI notified. So that is the reason why we wanted a surveillance form, and we created a Google surveillance form, which is very, very elaborate. I completely understand it's an elaborated form, and we asked the IHRF team to get that input so that we can make a more robust validated method, so that every laboratory is able to understand what the laboratory method is. So the biggest challenge which FSSAI also faced before releasing the method is the result that was obtained from one laboratory, whether it is a primary food laboratory or a state public health laboratory or a private laboratory, the results were not uniform. There was a lot of percentage error observed in the B9 and the B12 content, not only in iron, B12 being very low content, which is around the ppb level of 0.5 ppb to 1.25 ppb, which is a huge challenge for many of the laboratories, because their limit of quantification in their NAVL scope may not be at that particular level. Henceforth, we were always focusing on our hands-on training on understanding the B12 and how they are actually doing the B12. And this questionnaire, we received so far 9 responses from some private laboratories and state laboratories, which they clearly understand that the maintenance of the instrument and the way they are handling the reference standards, stability of the standards, these all small minute informations which are not being given in the basic SOP or the manual of technical manual can be included by our understanding with the interaction with this training program. So we wanted to strengthen the enforcement part of it, and for the strengthening the enforcement and quality assurance of the finished product, it is important that the lab personnel completely understand this manual and they are able to have the repeatability and reproducibility. Both of it will be obtained if they know that the method is rugged. If they make a small change in the pH conditions, or if they are not able to have a correct column and they are not having the LC or the MS in the correct maintenance condition, it could lead to various kind of deviations in the results, which could have several implications in the quality assurance of the finished product. And this is a very crucial parameter for the Department of Food Public Distribution, because after the FRK manufacturers ensure their certificate of analysis that the content of B9 and B12 is proper enough. However, when they come to the finished product of fortified rice, each laboratory is trying to release different results. Henceforth, we also suggested IHRF that we need to have an inter-laboratory comparison. Whoever has already qualified also we participate regularly in every 6 months to ensure that they are actually having repeatability and reproducibility of the results. So this was our main concern, and in the next training programs also we would like to focus in this direction, where we wanted to have a kind of a blog or a questionnaire where we can share this particular problems that they are finding and how we can solve the particular problems and provide solutions for their maintenance and especially to get the repeatability and reproducibility of results. So we would like to constantly have an IQC or an ILC being conducted in these particular laboratories, not only the laboratories who don't have the notification of FSSC or NABL, but also to the laboratories who are already notified, and to ensure that they are all being in a similar values of to ensure the quality assurance of the product. So this is my simplest understanding in these training programs and the lab personnel. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So sorry, my system just went a little haywire. As I said, I think there is some calls today, with the network. So my system is just restarting, and I've joined, from my other device. So thank you so much, for shedding light on the testing protocols and what is the confusion with most of the lab personnel with regards to the testing methodologies and what are the recommendations of FSSAI. Moving ahead, I think we've had a very interesting session of inputs from all the IHRF stakeholders. So now it's time for us to move to the Q&A session. I know we are running almost 30 minutes late in this session, but any which ways, I'm opening the deck for the questions. So as everyone, they can mute and unmute themselves. So I have a request, for people. What I would request you, if you have a question, kindly raise your hand. You can see the icon, the sticker. You can raise your hand from the icon, and we will take one question at a time. So given the paucity of time, we are already 30 minutes ahead of the schedule. We will confine the questions to 2 to 3 questions only, so that we wind up as quickly as possible. So I'm opening the deck now for the questions. I think there is a question from Aishwari. Can you please unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am. My question is for HR Mishra, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Sir, I would like a clarification regarding earlier you were saying that we should use milled rice rather than freshly milled rice. So can you explain something about it?
Yes. What we found in our study, that if the rice is stored for some time. Hello.
Yes, sir. You carry on, sir. You're audible.
Yes. So when it is stored for some time and then we prepare a FRK from the stored rice, it gives better strength to the rice, all right, to the FRK, and also the leaching of the solid as well as micronutrient, etc. during cooking and washing is significantly reduced. So that is our research finding. Whether you should, as a industry, you should use it or not, that has to government to say. But as if you take, and you see normal also, because this amylose and amylopectin combination is very important and it works during the extrusion process. All right. So when you are storing the rice, this amylopectin, that is it is hydrolyzed to significant level depending upon the storage conditions and time, etc. And therefore the branching, you see, amylopectin is a quietly branched structure, branched chain. All right. Whereas amylose is the linear chain structure. So this, when this hydrogen bonds, etc., branch chain or amylose is converted into amylopectin is converted into amylose, then branching is reduced, and it helps in the reinforcement of the micronutrients, etc., during the extrusion process and getting its better stability. So that is, in fact, we have, in fact, it was we had bought some rice about a year ago, and recently we produced a FRK from that rice. Our student did that, and we found this result. So that, yes, I'm telling you, if you store, even in, you see, in our homes, when you cook rice, if you take the rice which is from the freshly built from a freshly harvested paddy, and the rice which is either stored paddy or the stored rice. If you cook it, you will find the cooked rice, its characteristics. All right, its eating qualities, its softness, texture, etc. Its retrogradation characteristics, they are all changed. They are improved rather during storage. Stored rice cooked much better than the freshly harvested rice.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Shariji, for asking this question. Can we take another question? Okay, so Amit Kumar Jha, can you please unmute yourself? Please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself. You're not audible. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for giving me this opportunity to ask this question. I'm Amit Kumar Jha, representing Swarnarekha Agro Ventures, Jharkhand. I'm an FRK manufacturer. Actually, I just wanted to have a question with Jatinder, sir. You said we have equipments which are being developed for rapid detection. Do we have any such equipment out in market as of now? Because it's a very the testing of the the FRK what we manufacture, it takes a lot of time. So we know we have like we have to send it. It takes 3-4 days to send to a lab. Then the results come back. So it's a long process. And in the meantime, you are keeping on manufacturing. So if there is some fault in your manufacturing process, it means you are going to
Yes. So far,
manufacturing a lot of
yes. Up to so far, as the RTK is concerned, they're in your RAPT kit till now. No? That is, approved, FSA approved. Of course, if you see bioenergy, they are doing kind of, eye check device. Probably you have this eye check. There's a Germany company, they are trying to, penetrate to Indian market. So that is, of course, FSI is resisting that kind of, penetration to Indian market. So if you have a device, so what we can do for you, we can have some kind of parametric analysis and we can say, yes, this device is working in this range as per the FSA guidelines. Okay. And certification of a device, of course, that doesn't come our purview. That, of course, that is a different protocol you need to approach, there's a protocol. If you see RAPT kit testing, the FSI, there's a website, there's a portal, RAPT test kit. In FSI, there's a portal. Okay, you can see the process or procedure, how to go ahead with a RAPT kit to approved by the FSI. Only what we can do, we can analyze your device and we can say what is your performance based on different parameters. That we can do it. But we cannot certify that is, your device. Are you getting my point?
Yeah, my point is not for certification. For certification, we can definitely get accredited labs as it is required by FSSAI. But my point is that if we are manufacturing a poor quality rice due to some reason, maybe about any number of reasons due to a machine, that by the time we get the results of the too late. Like it's like you have wasted a lot of money and you have wasted a lot of resources.
No, that is a big question. Therefore, we are working. There is a lot of
good idea to have.
You are speaking something? Can I go ahead?
Please continue, sir.
Yes. Actually, there is a lot of breakage. Okay. I mean, you see, the quality depends so many parameters. It is not, you should have a proper device or you should have, and you see, we are working, therefore we are working. If this premix, simply we assume the premix, if the premix doesn't contain the appropriate amount of, micronutrient, probably you will not get in this at the end. I mean, the FRK, you will not get that kind of device. So, but what we are trying to work, FSA said that it may be, ferrous, it may be anything, but the manufacturer, premix manufacturer, they add something else. Many times you will find that they don't certify what is the, source of that salt, if I say. So what we are trying to do, of course, we have successfully established a techniques where you can identify what is the source of that iron in your premix. That is one point. And again, if you whole supply chain, if you visualize the whole supply chain, there is so many factors. It is not, device or it is not, premix. Of course, there are so many, it has to be, regulated properly, probably kind of enforcement should be very, very stringent in the whole process because it is not a food, it is a medicine what we treat. probably there is a lot of breakage. I'm not able to listen his question properly.
Yes, so what we'll do is, we have details of all the people who have joined. Maybe we'll take the questions. Amitji, if you are there, it would be better if you can type in your question in the chat, and maybe, we can pass it on to Sahu sir and he can get back to you on it.
Probably what
Because
I
even
understood. Yes, probably what you understand, he has a device, he wanted to take it forward. What I believe.
I think, sir, he was asking for a method in which he can get the testing done. And rather than waiting for, extended timelines by the laboratories for the test reports. That's what I understood.
He can follow the protocol. This
I'm sorry. I am on board ship. I'm not at land, so
That's okay.
all the issues regarding my network communication. I will type in the message. I'll type in the question, and I'll have a talk to you later on then. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
So for everyone else, I am sharing my email ID in case you have any questions that you would want to ask to the panel of experts that we have on board. Please feel free to send your questions, write it to me, and I'll pass on to the concerned person, the concerned expert who can mitigate your query. Yeah. So moving ahead, we can take one more question. So is there anyone else who would want to, who has any other question that they want to put up to the panel? I think that's all. We are not getting any further questions from everyone. So it's time now for me to officially close. I think, okay. Amitji, your hand is up again.
I'll try to put up another question for HN Mishra sir. Now I have closed off my video, so I guess my audio should be audible clear. Can you hear me?
Amitji, just a moment. I think I have a suggestion. If you can just type in your question, I'll read it out too, sir. And I just type your question in the chat because we are struggling to understand, or interpret what you're trying to ask us. So if you can just type it down, I think we'll be able to answer your query.
Rita, also you can write to ask directly.
Yeah. I think Saucer has shared coordinate. Okay. Amitji, please take a note of our email IDs, and I assure you once we get your questions, the concerned expert will be taking care of your query. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So thanks everyone, for joining us today and witnessing, what work all of us have done in the last year and a half. And I think we have gained some good insights, from the skill gap study that was conducted in the last couple of months. And as I can see, there is a lot of work that needs to be done, and it gives a food for thought, for all our to all the members of IHRF in which direction we need to move. I think it will be better that we would be planning few more meetings to discuss the findings of the skill gap study in particular. I think Sahu sir, you would agree that once the report is circulated, it's imperative that we sit down and go line by line about the findings and the recommendations that we have got from discussing in length with so many FRK manufacturers across different states, and it will give us some direction. And also we might have to add on certain techniques. Rather, what I can, if you ask me firsthand, what I could feel is there is a need of a SOP and structured methodology of implementing the FSMS, and also ensuring that the downright line worker is aware of the actual protocols of manufacturing the FRK properly. I think the trainings that we have conducted on the spot for the FRK manufacturers, we have taken care of most of the stuff. But again, having said that, we will be relooking at the training delivery and the modules that are being disseminated on the ground. And there is a lot of work that we will have to take up and do. So I think that's all, and I extend my heartfelt. Yes, sir.
Yes, Pritha, just I should add on. I should appreciate your team and FICSI. Basically, you shared that this training program, and that we had a meeting with FSI, and we shared all these details and the papers that you shared with us. And there are a lot of appreciation for your team that I must say, and that is a great work you did. At least in Punjab, Haryana, you did a great job. And based on that, they have some feedback. Of course, I'll be sharing with you and try to improve, not improve, include this kind of points that I received from FSI, because their team, basically, they are, NOCG and their team, and that you try to include your team next program. And of course, they are insisting to have some kind of training programs in Chhattisgarh and I forgot Chhattisgarh EP, right? Uttar Pradesh. So probably we'll be reaching out to you. So you just try to initiate that program, and we'll have a discussion. Yes.
Sure, sir.
So again, Mishra sir, that the TOT the training program you conducted, that is highly appreciated by the FSI. Basically, ED this NOC Sharma Madam ji. And of course, I shared this report that you shared with Pritha and their team, and I handed over a kind of a material to them, both in soft copy and hard copy, and they appreciated it, and they are trying to connect or contact those trained kind of TOT manpowers, and they are trying to have those people to build kind of capacity in other region as well too, because we are discussing this presence of stakeholders pan-India, not Bengal or kind of this. For various sectors, people joined that one, and that is a good kind of initiative. They appreciated, and probably they will be trying to contacting these people. Probably they will give that kind of publicity in FSI website.
Yes. That in fact, thank you very much. In fact, that Ruchika told and Pritha also were discussing that they wanted to have another similar second training of the TSUs, for TOT of the TSUs,
Right.
And we have been waiting that input from the Pritha Tripathi and FICSI, that you provide a list, and so that we can have. So if you want, we can take that training again, because most of the mid of October and November I will be out of country. Then December we can also, our vacations etc. be there in December, and we can get guest house facility. So if you want, we can do another training. And regarding, I just, Dr. Sahu, would like to inform you that in this 19th and 20th, in fact, one joint workshop, actually it is an initiative of Chhattisgarh, that Krishi Vishwavidyalaya. All right. They contacted us, and they are inviting, I think, most than about 50-60 FRK manufacturers from Chhattisgarh, and a 2 days comprehensive training program for those FRK manufacturers and blenders, where my all team, we are joint organizer. They wanted us to, if we can take our team. So I am taking my team of research engineers and design engineer, training officers, and other researchers. We are all going today. My team will stay there, and we will be training those things together with the Chhattisgarh Agricultural University. This is for whole of the Chhattisgarh region. They are doing that.
Sir, so, what is the date you said, sir?
I think it is on 19th and 20th.
19th, 20th, right?
19th.
It is IGKB, sir.
IGKB. So that is the just update.
Sir, are you taking any support from the kind of developing partner that state? I mean, Chhattisgarh comes under WFP. Sir, are you taking?
WFP is also involved. WFP is involved. They are the one major, because WFP is a technology support unit for Chhattisgarh IGKB.
Right.
So they are the mainly the organizer. Okay. WFP and this Chhattisgarh IGKB, and they have requested us to provide. In fact, from NIT Rourkela, Dr. Chandrakant will be there. One person is coming from Tezpur University, that Purohit, and our whole team is going there. In fact, I will be staying for 1 day there, and next day I am coming to Delhi, but my other team will be there. So WFP is there. Yes, it is WFP.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we can officially close the session. Thanks again, everyone from FICSI. We thank for all your support and patience in today's session. I think we extended the timeline by almost an hour right now. So any which ways, it was very interesting and a very learning session for me at least, and I hope you feel the same. So looking forward to conducting many more such interactions, be it online or physical, to keep the momentum going and do more work in and put in all our efforts together for the one aim that we all have with us, that is strengthening the FRK manufacturing ecosystem. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.